What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back with another player ratings. Got Joe with me once again for the player ratings. How you doing, Joe?
Good, man. Good,
yeah, we saw you on the fan cams. You came to join us after watching that. What did you make of it?
The fan cam, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't happy at the time, so go check it out. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't seen it, go check out on the fan cams. You see Joe making his debut on the fan cams. Obviously, 3 losses in a row now for Jose Mourinho and Tottenham Hotspur. Where do we go from here?
It's rough. It's looking really rough, and it's the same again. The defence letting us down. I was excited to see Tanganga and Sanchez together, the aggressive pairing, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, the thing is, you say defence let us down again, and they did, but I actually thought it was a much better performance than it was in the past couple of weeks. When you look back to the Chelsea and the Leipzig game, we hardly tested the keeper, but in this game, we scored 2 goals, could have got more goals as well in the day.
Yeah, to be fair, I think we were the better team for about 60% of the game, but it's still frustrating to not come away with anything. Yeah. It shows there's still a lot to be improved on.
Just stupid defensive mistakes, but we'll get into that in the player ratings. Let's just get straight into it. Let's start off with Paulo Gazzaniga. We gave him a 5. Didn't make a save the whole game, but was he really at fault for any of the goals? Potentially the second goal, but not really.
Yeah, the second one was a strange one, and it's sort of obviously coming across the goal. But the first and third, even the second, it wasn't like anything to blame the keeper on. They weren't like blinding mistakes or anything. I don't think, it's his first game for a few weeks. That shouldn't be an excuse. But I think 5. Yeah, he didn't make a great save or, make a really bad.
All right, let's move on to Ben Davies. We gave him a 5, a player that we missed out on the player ratings last week, didn't we? But I thought defensively he was much better. Just the only thing for me is that in this formation, when we got 3 at the back, we heavily rely on the fullbacks to kind of give us that width and give us that attacking intent from the flanks, and he just didn't provide that.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we usually say he's a 7 out of 10 player. That's probably why we miss him, because he's so monotone. We just forget he's there.
Yeah.
But yesterday he wasn't even that. He was a 5 out of 10. Just he went missing, and Jota completely tore him apart.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Serge Aurier. We gave him a 6. First of all, absolutely brilliant goal. The way he took that with his left peg as well, cutting inside, lovely finish. But apart from that, I thought first half was a lot of up and down from Serge Aurier. I thought his attacking play was very good, providing that width, getting up, but not getting down that much. I thought his defensive display in the first half was pretty poor, giving the ball away a lot of stupid errors. Second half, he did kind of improve, but still not good enough in the defence.
Yeah, I think, although it definitely wasn't his best game, he was probably one of the best players, because he cut off Traore a couple of times in that game, and even if you cut him off twice, he can get a goal from absolutely anything. So I feel like the fact that he managed to cut Traore off and do that job well, I was happy with that, and I looked at that as a positive.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do feel Jota did get the better of him a few times. He was left scrambling out of position, a few misplaced passes as well thrown in there. But you can't take away anything from his attacking display, because I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. His crossings, has been in the last few weeks, it was good again yesterday.
All right, let's move on to Davinson Sanchez, Big Dave. We gave him a 5. I thought he was a bit out of place for that second goal. First and third goal, probably nothing to do with him. Out of the 3 centre-backs, I thought he was the best on the day, but it's not really saying much. Out of the last 3 performances Sanchez has given, it's probably his worst one out of the 3. But he does look the most competent out of those 3.
100%, bro. It's just Sanchez and Tanganga, that pairing before the game, I was so excited to see, and I thought he'd sort of be teaching Tanganga a few things, But yeah, they both looked a bit out of shape, and maybe it needs a few more weeks. As we say, it's the first time they've played together, started together, so. But as for Sanchez as on whole, he made a few, literally about 1 clearance for near the line, and then but not much.
And he nearly scored well. I wouldn't say nearly scored, but he had a shot just over the bar in the first half.
That was not bad.
But look, I think when I saw the lineup and I saw Sanchez, Tanganga and Dier all there in the starting lineup, I did fear the worst, because there's no commanding presence in there like a Toby Alderweireld, like a Jan Vertonghen, which actually fills you with confidence that he can control the back line. Albeit, I know Vertonghen and Alderweireld not playing their best football at the moment, but they can control the line. They've got that commanding presence.
That's a really good point. I feel like in every team you need someone with experience in the back line just to have, as you say, the presence.
Exactly, and Sanchez, Tanganga didn't really prove that. Dier should be the one. Well, we'll get on to Dier, but let's move on to Japhet Tanganga. We gave him a 4. I thought it was a pretty bad display from Japhet, to be honest. I think he followed up his bad display at Chelsea with a bad display yesterday. He had his hand in pretty much all 3 of the goals. The first goal, it literally just hit him and it fell to Matt Doherty. The second goal, look, pretty much each moment, Tanganga was like.
Yeah, he was up to blame. Like the first one, I don't know why he should have just cleared the ball, get it out as you should do as a centre back. The third one, I believe, he just let skip past him. Like that, he literally just looked at the ball as they walked past. Oh no, that was Dier actually. But Tanganga was doing a lot of skipping, like ball watching as well. And just put your foot in. Sometimes it has to be done. And even if you take the yellow card, there were times, I believe, the second goal where Winks went in for a foot. And he should have just got the yellow card because it was a rash tackle. It wasn't a great tackle anyway. And if he would have just got the yellow card, taken the player down, then the score would have been 2-1 still. To
be fair, he did try and take the player down for that third goal. He tried to take down Adama Traore, but he just bounced off him like he was a bloody trampoline. You know, it was ridiculous. Like, the guy is so big and strong, but Tanganga should be doing better. He really should be.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't bounce off a player like that in the Premier League. Like, he went in for the hard challenge and he just bounced off him like he was... he weighed nothing pretty much.
It's not him. It's not him. I don't know why that was happening.
But I don't want to put Tanganga down too much because he's a young player being thrown in the deep end, and he's just not getting the guidance he needs. He needs someone, like I said before, with presence in there that can command the back line.
Definitely.
And he just didn't have that.
Yeah, it's player ratings. It's not like career rating. We don't hate these players as like on every game. It's just when we see something that needs to change it.
All right, let's move on to Eric Dier. We gave him a 4 as well. To be honest, I actually thought it was one of Eric Dier's better performances in the past couple of months. But first goal, the ball just went straight past him. He definitely could have got that out. And the next 2 goals as well, he was majorly at fault for all of them.
Yeah. I feel like that everything you said is true, but the thing that stood out for me was he thought he was Toby, you know, like pinging them balls at the top, and he could never land a perfect one. Like his ball playing is just not his skill, and he tried to do that too much.
Yeah, to be fair, I do think he's more suited to centre-back position than he is to a defensive centre-mid. And he did show that. I think apart from the 3 goals, which is a major part of the game, obviously, but apart from those 3 moments, he actually had an all right game. But he was at fault for literally 3 of the goals. So let's move on to Harry Winks. We gave him a 6. Captained his boyhood club for the first time, which must have filled him with a lot of pride. But I think that he's playing that defensive mid position and he's running around like a headless chicken. He's trying to win the balls in the middle of the park, but he just can't do it on his own.
Yeah, no, 100%. And when he does try and get those balls in the middle of the park, he often makes reckless tackles. And I actually criticised him after the Chelsea match, and I regret doing that now, because sometimes you've just got to take a player down, get the yellow for the team, because he on one of the goals, as I was saying, he tried to get the player down, he missed, and they scored. So sometimes he just needs to be a bit more aggressive, I think.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I don't think his being aggressive is his problem, because I think that he is being aggressive. He is making these sliding challenges, these hard challenges in the middle of the park, but it's just what happens after that. And also, I think he needs a bit of help alongside him as well. Which moves us on to Giovanni Lo Celso. We gave him a 6 as well. Probably our best attacking outlet of the game. I thought that he was doing so much good work in the middle of the park, but he struggled because of the lack of movement in front of him.
Yeah, I think he was the most creative player, and literally he just had no options in front of him. It was one of those days where he didn't suit the fact that there were no outright strikers, and he definitely saw opportunities, but there weren't any players that knew the runs, or like you just couldn't see the opportunities that he had, that he knew he could make.
Exactly, but you got to give him credit for trying. That's the main thing.
Yeah, no, he was still
probably one of our better players on the day. That's for sure. But let's move on to Steven Bergwijn. We gave him a 6. in the right place at the right time for the goal, his first goal early on. I think he was giving the Wolves defence a bit of problems, but I think as the game went on, he just weaned down and looked like he was tiring, but that's it pretty much.
Yeah, I think for the first goal, Dele should have put that away before, but he did well to be reacting, be on his toes and score that. Other than that, he wasn't in the game a lot, really, was he?
No, he wasn't. I felt that. Credit to him for getting that goal, being in the right place at the right time, nice little finish. But apart from that, I think he just literally tired pretty early, to be honest,
Yeah.
Bergwijn. But anyway, let's move on to Lucas Moura. We gave him a 5. He really, really frustrates me, Lucas Moura. I think that week in, week out, we're saying the same things about Lucas Moura, how he runs around, does a lot for the team, but actually he's not doing a lot for the team because he's running around like a headless chicken pretty much the whole game with no quality at the end of anything. And what is he offering to the team?
No, we say the same thing every week. Like, he runs around, he'll do about make one or two like tackles, make one or two skillful runs, and it comes to nothing. And then we can't praise him for that anymore because he should know by now that doesn't work. And in this new system, whatever it is, he needs to switch it up.
He needs to be providing quality to his end product. At the end of the day, he's an attacking player, but he rarely provides goals and assists. So he needs to be doing a lot better, Lucas Moura.
100%.
Moving on to Dele Alli, last but not least, we gave him a 6. 2 assists, so you can't really argue with that. Albeit not great assists, kind of more fluky assists.
Yeah.
For the first assist, should have scored. Second assist was just a pass to Aurier, and Aurier did the magic after that. So look, on paper he's got the assists, but they're not really assists, if you know what I mean. Should have scored with the header to put us 3-1 up, which could have sealed off the game. But I think that in the first half, the role he played, playing the furthest up front, actually suited him, and he was doing well. But in the second half, he was pretty anonymous. Yeah,
no, I actually agree with that. Like, the header, I think he's a bit low on confidence still at the moment, and when he's on form, we know he's scoring that because he's a player that runs off confidence, and when his confidence is high, he'll do these flicks and tricks, and he can score more goals, obviously. As for the second half, though, he just wasn't really involved as much, and I think it's similar to Lo Celso, how he's good in making these creative balls and stuff, but there just wasn't anyone there for him to sort of play those.
Yeah, I echo your thoughts. Let's move on to Jose Mourinho. How do you think that he kind of set up the team? How do you think that, our attacking intent, how do you think it all went for Jose?
As for the defensive line, I think it's a struggle because it clearly wasn't working. As I said before, we were getting outnumbered in the box late on when in the opposition's box when we needed it most. So something was a bit, maybe whether that was the players or what, something was a bit not right. But I feel like Chelsea, he got the tactics wrong. But I feel like maybe yesterday they were actually okay because I believe we were the better team, and it was mainly down to the defence's errors, I believe.
Yeah, you can't really warrant for individual errors and defensive errors like that, can you? So I think that the way he actually set up the team was the way we were all calling for him to set up the team.
Exactly.
I think the majority of our play was on the floor, attacking with big attacking intent. I think the first half was actually probably one of our best performances of the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
But second half was probably one of our worst. Second half we were shocking. Didn't carry on that first half intent that we had, and I felt that we were struggling in that second half, and he didn't make those changes quick enough.
Yeah.
Ndombele comes on 77th minute for Tanganga, fair enough, but 77th minute to make our first change is too late.
Yeah, I think it was, and especially in a game where we didn't look after the third goal. We didn't look like scoring until about the 90th minute, and that's a genuine thing. We didn't look like scoring until well after the third goal, and I don't understand why the system wasn't switched after the third goal. But I don't blame that on Mourinho because I feel like the players should know that attacking, we need to be more attacking after that.
Like when you think about it, it goes 2-2 on around 55 to 60 minutes. Then we go 3-2 down on about 75, 74 minutes.
Yeah.
Changes have got to be made after it goes to the equaliser because
that's even,
you know what I mean? Like, you got Parrott on the bench and you bring him on the 90th minute. Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, what is the point?
I mean, Wolves are always going to gain momentum after scoring the second goal, and that when you're 2-1 down and you level it, you're always going to have more momentum than the other team, and I don't understand why the changes were made later, but even so, I feel like the loss yesterday wasn't Mourinho's. I won't stick this one on him.
No, I agree with you. I'm not going to stick this on Mourinho. I'm not going to. I think ultimately the blame lies with the board for not investing in what we needed. But in this specific game, if you isolate it from all different situations, it's down to the defensive errors, and Dier and Tanganga and Sanchez. Those three players were our players playing centre backs, and all three of them had hands in all three of the goals. So I don't want to put too much of the blame on Sanchez. It was mainly the other two, but that's what it comes down to: individual errors in the defence. I think the game plan that Mourinho implemented was the correct game plan to implement. I think that Wolves found it a lot harder than they thought they would find it. I think the Tottenham fans as well came into this very negative, and I thought that most of them were pleasantly surprised with the way that we were playing football. Not too many lumped balls over the top and stuff like that. So I think that it does fill me with a bit of confidence moving forward if we can start playing like this, but we just need to tighten up that defence. That's the main issue.
Yeah, I echo, as you say, like that is my thoughts as well. I wasn't confident coming into it, but although we did lose, and I thought we would, I'm looking at it from a different perspective as I was at the start of the game, which is always a benefit, a positive. So.
Then obviously Jedson also came on for Aurier, 82nd minute. But all these changes were, like I said before, a bit too late. But anyway, that is your player ratings. Let me know in the comment section below what you think your player ratings are. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.